Hey, good morning and welcome to Trading with Larry. And Eric Shamalov is back. He is back. Two down days in a row and one more down day starting today. The chances are light, but somehow the market sold off 100 points before the PCE price deflator, which I've been trading for 40 years. And, somehow they say that's a preferred number for the Fed. I'm not truly believing it, but, market's down a little. We'll see if it stays down today. But overall, bearish stuff. Just again, I'm going to go back to the cash out and the high of the market, probably of the year and maybe of the decade, will be Friday. I may go with
Of
the
a
decade
century,
on this
Larry.
one.
Why stop at a decade? Go to a century already.
I'm saying I don't know. I don't understand it. Um, Weird action pre this morning. So I happened to be up late last night. Markets were up a lot. The Nasdaq was up. The Nasdaq futures were up 50. S&P up 14. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, market drops. About 150 Nasdaq, and then actually rallies back to up on the day at about 3:34 in the morning. And then this morning, somebody must have had this number and sold the market off, and now they realize the number really isn't the biggest deal. So the market's sort of sitting back where they're having the ability to cover, So you missed the last 2 days of down. So, what's the play today is the question. What's the play today?
Well, I'm looking at the straddle here, trying to price it in. But I missed the last couple of days. I was actually going to ask you, how have you done? Like, we've been looking for downside. We got some downside over the last couple of days. I'm looking at the Nasdaq futures. They've broken their 5-day moving average, their 8-day moving average. Those are very sensitive short term levels that the algos love. Those levels are broken. And the next level down that everybody likes to look at is the 21-day moving average, which is like another 400 points down. And if it gets there, then you have to start questioning the entire move in September. I mean, if we keep going down like this and breaking levels, then everything that happened after that, Google news came out with the antitrust on September 3rd, which kickstarted randomly positive news events that got the market thinking that everything is good and they should just keep buying relentlessly, throwing darts up at the board, gambling a little bit.
It's
Uh, that's for sure
open
part of it.
by
We could retrace the whole move.
I just leave it. We can. We're praying, but I'm not. I'm not. Listen, I'm trading options really for tomorrow, and there's some kind of sneaky thing going on in here. They're buying every call option on the board. So I don't know what that's about for tomorrow. But trading day hasn't started today, and same stuff. I mean, listen, here's the problem with the market that I see, and it's kind of a little bit depressing in a way. I'm going to use the word depressing. Um, it's depressing in the sense that we were down yesterday, 20 handles. We were down, or a little less than 20. We were down 30 handles on Tuesday, and now we're down 30 handles. Okay, so what is that? 1%? 1.25%? Is that really real? I mean, is that a real move that's getting anybody to make a move? Where we're listen,
No.
it's better than having no move down. I'll give you that. This is much better than having no move down, but it's it's kind of disheartening to get literally. We're down 40 basis points. We were down 25 yesterday and probably 40 today, but we're down a percent. Like, what was the all-time high on the S&P futures? Do you have it?
All time high, I
Do you have
believe
it, Thomas?
67, what, 57, something like that? 67, 60. Let's round it up.
No. 67.56. Yeah, so we're down 100 handles. We're down 1.3%. So either there's a lot more to go, and this is just a joke part of the sell-off, or they're somehow holding it up, into month end. But I'm not really sure. And you know, to get us down a percent, this is what's so shocking, right? To get us down a percent and a half in Nasdaq, a little more. It's been. I wonder if I did put spread back. It's been like Nvidia went
Pulling.
down $12 from the high in or $11. But as Nvidia is going down, they're buying something else.
Yeah, this down move and this little 1% down move in the market's been like pulling teeth. What's interesting is that right now, at this very level, the S&P is trading at the exact spot it was
Lower.
trading at when the Fed cut rates. So we made a round trip from there, and I think
What?
it puts into question whether all of these rate cuts were already priced in. Like I've been saying, they've been priced in, and it takes a while to really gauge the reaction after a Fed announcement, and they it looks like they want to go on a rate cutting cycle. Everybody's talking about that. Everybody's anticipating that, and the market's been flat net since that rate cut.
Yeah. Well, the market's up. Nasdaq's up 45% now from the low. Okay. I don't know. You know, I don't know. Um, very bearish market, but again, we're cautiously optimistic that the market will go down. But again, it's begrudgingly, and it wouldn't shock me, to see them try to, reverse the market because that's what they do. But we'll see what moxie they have, moving forward. These stocks they're kind of crazy, but like, look at Oracle. Look, I mean, were you in with the fake Nvidia news? I don't know if you were in for that day or you were out. Maybe that happened on Tuesday, the fake Nvidia news where they were going to, do a deal with OpenAI and,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
100 billion.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, that's as fake as they get, and if you really look at Oracle, the stock ran up crazy. It's coming in. It came in today again, $10. It's 298. You want to know the truth? The stock should go back to like 200. I mean, their secret buyer is OpenAI. So they don't have a real buyer. OpenAI doesn't even have the money to do any of this stuff. Okay. You could have bought, they pumped $500 billion valuation on OpenAI. 500 billion. Okay. Can you explain to me what they do? Do you have an idea? I'd love to get an understanding of what they actually do.
Larry. Even if I tell you what they do, you're just gonna come back and be like, "What does that mean? What do they do? What is AI?
No, I
AI
mean,
is a
okay. I would want to know what they do. To
come
be
on, man.
completely honest with you, I want to know what they do. You're obviously hedging right now, okay? Because maybe you don't know
I
what they
use,
do,
I
okay?
use
But
chat
time out,
every single
time
day.
out, time out. You're not letting me ask the question, okay? I want to know what they do, okay? And what revenue they possibly can derive from that. Yeah, maybe in the future they may do something, but right now I'd love to know what they do outside of ChatGPT or whatever that's bringing in massive revenues. I mean, this could be this could be like the greatest Ponzi scheme of all time since Madoff, in the sense that people are betting the ranch on a potential of what could or may be. It's very interesting. That's all I'll say. Very interesting.
Well, how's that different from any other market in history? I mean, everybody's betting the ranch on what could be. That's what the market is. And the market is always gravitating towards growth and they see it as growth. The problem is that they have overestimated what that growth is, when that growth is going to materialize into earnings. And at the end of it, it always becomes just a gambling thing where one guy sees the other guy making money. Uh, and there's no other force more powerful than seeing your neighbor make money. And they start gambling with it, even though they don't know what they're doing. Now,
Yeah, but time
ChatGPT,
out. OpenAI is not a public company for people that are watching, so you can't buy it or gamble on it or whatever you're saying. But a friend of mine who we traded together 30 basically years ago just texted me and he goes, OpenAI is in the business of raising money and spending it. And that's the truth. That's all they're looking for, the golden whatever in AI, which to me, and I keep saying this, and I know you don't agree with me, AI is just Google. They've somehow, fashioned an entire industry off of Google, Googling words or listen, it's very efficient. I use it. I don't pay for it. I'm sure they're making money in advertising, but I just say, "Hey, I want to know about this," and then you go to ChatGPT and
okay,
you find out.
okay, but a lot of these companies, uh, AI is just writing their code for them. I mean, they don't, do you understand? Like 25, 30, 35% of these companies' code is being written by AI now. So that's not Google. That's not
What
Google at
I'm
all.
not saying actual Google. I'm just saying that group of companies that just give you access to information off your phone, etc. I just literally listen. I knew that we were probably making a top when I had my kids over and both kids were on Robinhood trading at 8:15 at night, trading Nvidia. Okay. So that to me is just an interesting tidbit about what's going on here in the markets. So it's
It's interesting you mentioned AI. Quantum computing is next, and HSBC came out and said that they have used IBM's quantum computing. I haven't looked too deep into it yet. I saw the headline. I was blown away. That increased their probability of pricing in where a bond will trade by 35%. And they are saying that they have computing supremacy in the banking sector now, HSBC. So maybe in 20 years, what you and I are doing is,
I don't listen. They could say anything. This market it's actually unbelievable, the market, because if it I mean, come on, if it falls like 200, 300 spook points, what do you think is going to happen in here? I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but what's gonna happen in here? And then my next follow up to that is, do you think they had the number this morning? Because literally, the reaction off the number from where we were, okay, to where we are now is less than 10 Nasdaq points, basically. I mean, we were trading Nasdaq futures at 24,590, okay, and we're 4,575. I mean, come on. I mean,
aren't these
somebody
old
somebody
numbers?
had this number this morning. Nothing was going on, and then all of a sudden, you know, as I'm getting up, the market's selling off 100 Nasdaq points pre the number. So, the markets, we talk about a lot that
Larry,
have
these were all
really been
revisions. I
disappointing
mean,
and shockingly disappointing is the European markets. Shockingly disappointing. Um, you're seeing some dollar strength right now, and you would think that would be decent for the DAX, and the DAX is only up 17.5% for the year, which is a very good year. But in February, it was up over 20. So over the last 6 months, the DAX has done nothing but go down. And we've gone straight up. So, listen, today, unfortunately, hasn't been written. I'm hoping that it continues to sell off and go down. But again, the day is not over. And I don't know how easy it's going to be for them to give up the ghost on the market. Um, I have a hard stop today at 9:05, so I don't know if you want to go in a direction here and get the
Well,
viewers,
these economic
up to speed
numbers,
on what you're thinking since you haven't been here in, you know, 2 days. But one thing is, I'd love to know what Fed funds futures are pricing in. I doubt, I doubt it's 90%. It might have gone down to that. Could have been the best trade of the year because they ain't cutting. They ain't cutting. I don't know if you have it up, but I don't see how can they cut. Why are they going to
it,
cut?
well, the October is 84%.
You're on mute.
I'm not on mute.
You're on mute. I don't know. He's on mute. So, am I on mute?
84% probability.
Can you find out if they can hear me?
I could hear you, Larry.
No, he can't hear me. I need you to talk to Lance. He's saying he can't hear me both.
I can hear you, but you can't hear
Oh,
me.
they say they can hear me, but I can't hear him. So what do I do? Did I hit something here? I think I did.
Okay, folks, just a little technical difficulty. I think Larry's going to join in a minute, but as we were saying, Larry was right. 80, that probability went down from 90%. That's been a good trade. So the probability for the October rate cut is now down to 84%. And for December, it has gone down to 73% of getting 50 basis points. So the market is adjusting. Larry, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Good, good, good.
Yeah.
So you're right. The probability has dropped.
I think it's the best trade on the board. I would sink a lot of money into the fact they're not cutting rates at the next
So how are
meeting.
you playing that? I mean, would you
I
just
don't know.
short
I
me?
don't know. I don't know. I don't trade Fed fund futures, so that's difficult. But you know, there probably is a way. I just don't know what it is. We're going to look into that today, and you know, we'll figure it out.
Well, you could even take your pick. I mean, everything in the market has gone up on these rate cut expectations. Gold, silver, the market in general, bonds. I mean, it's almost like you take your pick and just by going the other way and you're betting against rate cuts.
Yeah, I don't really see the play. I gotta really look at it. But markets are drifting away slowly this morning. The question is, are we going to have actual selling? Again, we talked about it a lot. Um, the month is what? How many days left in the month? We got today, Thursday, Friday, and Monday and Tuesday is Wednesday. When's October 1st? Yes, so we have 4 trading days, 3 trading days left. It's going to be hard to get us down on the month, but I think they're going to kind of give it the college try.
I'm just looking across the board. Uh, on Monday, you and I talked about how everyone's now an expert in the uranium trade and nuclear energy and all that. And I'm just looking, these stocks are all down. Oklo's down 15% pre-market. Um, and one stock that I'm actually into the long side, which I was hoping would not fall apart after a big rally off the lows, AST Space Mobile, is down almost 8% here pre-market, and I was hoping to carry it into earnings. I'm going to have to probably just take my couple of dollars in profit and run. And a lot of these high beta names are down pre-market today.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla was trading up like $10. I think it's down like $10 or something, or $8.
So which stock is gonna carry the Nasdaq today?
None of them. That game is over. But
That game is over.
I want to go back to something that I was pointing out for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's always easy to Monday morning quarterback after the fact, but really the market went up an extra probably 1.5% or 2% because of quad witching. I know no one understands that trade, but it's the biggest thing in the market. These guys walked away. They cashed out on the dead high. Monday was sort of an anomaly day because that was when OpenAI had that fake news with Jensen cheerleader Wang Wang, who came out and basically cheered up a fake, a literal look at the deal. It's like a fake deal. And he cheered it up, got it going, and basically, ran up the market. They ran up the market based on that. And they ran Nvidia $10 or $8. And they ran Apple the other day $10. The only disheartening thing is like the stocks are down today, but just take a look at, let's take a look at Apple. What's that down? It's down 11 cents. It's not even down. Okay. So that's strong. Okay. Nvidia's acting weak. What is that down? Couple? $2. So that's what I'm saying. They're going to take these esoteric ones down to move the market down, even though the big cowboys are down, but they're down like 1%. Nvidia's getting crushed down 1.25%. Apple, we discussed, is flat. It's Oracle down 12. They can move Tesla 10 points on the drop of a dime. So I don't, you know, I don't know what, is the Nasdaq going to be down 1,000 today? I mean, are they going to hit if they hit everything, the Nasdaq will be down a lot more than 180, right? It'll be down like 500, 400. But the fact is they're not really doing that. So right now you're seeing strength in Apple relative to the market. So you probably want to buy that because the Jane Street Computer is going to be buying that. They get, like you said, they got to be buying something, right? So it's
Unless that game is over, like you said, maybe it's over. Maybe now,
well,
the Met.
if it was over, you would see, I think you'd see Apple down more than 11 cents. you know, I mean, so maybe they're going to just not sell Apple and sell Nvidia and sell, Oracle's down 11. What happened? Like, why is Oracle down 11? Just because Jensen, something with Jensen, or something with OpenAI? I mean, they're giving so much credence to OpenAI. You don't feel like they're giving so much credence to a company that doesn't do anything, literally, that does nothing, that has a market cap in the top 15 or 10 in the world, and it's not public, and it doesn't really do a lot. And it hasn't been around for more than what, 3 years, 2 years?
Yeah, but they kickstarted this whole AI thing, didn't they? ChatGPT became a household name, and then AI became a household name.
Dude, AI is a buzzword. They
By the way,
tried.
they're going to be
Dude,
for profit.
AI is the same buzzword. Do you remember? Let's back up 2 years, okay? Where you have a top five company in the world, changing their name to Meta for the Metaverse. That Meta is Meta because of the Metaverse. You don't remember hearing about the Metaverse every single day, but you want to know what? They couldn't pull that scam off. They could not pull it off. They couldn't pull the scam off. Where they had people buying like houses on the metaverse and the glasses and the this. They couldn't pull it off, so they shifted quickly to AI. AI, everything is AI. You know it. All you had to do in this quarter is mention that you were spending money on AI and your stock went straight up. Okay. And the greatest thing, and I think the poster child for this whole AI stuff, was the hot mic of Zuckerberg on a hot mic saying, "Was that a good enough number? $600 billion?
Oh
Um,
my!
you know, that's what we're going to spend." Well, let me ask you this: what do you think the market cap of Facebook is? It's about a
It's got to
trillion.
be,
It's a
yeah,
trillion.
trillions.
So they're going to spend half the value of their company in AI spending. They don't even have the money to do that. So what do you make of this? Like, is this just like, is this a kowtow to the president to just make them feel good, that they're spending crazy? There's been so many, I only can go another 5 minutes here. Actually 10 minutes I'll go. But it's funny. You think about it. Think about the tariffs on April 2nd or whatever, whenever he put them out in March, and then we made the low in April. But think about the tariffs. Originally, the tariffs were being brought so that they would bring manufacturing back to the United States. Remember that whole thing? They want manufacturing. They brought
Well,
Taiwan
manufacturing
semis to the
part
United
of it.
States. I'd love to go see how their factory is going. You go there, it's a pile of dirt with two like red flags in it. Okay. They're not building anything. So the bottom line is they spun from that. Then they were like, tariffs are here, to fund the tax bill, and it's on and on and on. So it spins, spins, spins. So now we're in the spin cycle of AI. And listen, this is the opening. What do they call it? Opening salvo of this. It's just interesting to me that the markets, and again, they're so much weaker overseas. If you look at these markets, you know, they're up, but they're not anything crazy like they were at the beginning of the year. It's kind of like looking at gold now. It's up 42% and watching gold go from up 42 to up 22. It's up a lot, but it will hurt people. But if you look at, the DAX is up 17% for the year. The CAC is up 5% for the year, and FTSE is up 12% for the year. These markets were all much higher 6 months ago. So I don't know. There's a lot of undercurrent. Today is an interesting one. Um, you know, Listen, what did you say every single day? Dip buyers, dip buyers, dip buyers, right? The dip buyers were buying because the dip was only five handles, and they were okay. Now, let me ask you a question. If you're a dip buyer, isn't this a pretty good dip? No, for you?
Yesterday would have been a great dip, right? Also, that didn't work, and if today's dip buying doesn't work, that's 3 days in a row where the dip buyers are like, "Hey, we're not making money anymore."
Right, but
What?
so the dip buyers are just day traders for the most part. That's all they are, right? So, I mean, a dip buyer is someone that's buying for, like, the invention of what a dip buying was not for traders, it was for investors, people that have positions. A dip would be 5%, 3%, 8, 10%. Now the dip buyers are day traders sitting in chat rooms across the country trying to pump and dump. I mean, this market is literally a full out pump and dump. And it's funny because there's different segments of the market, and the segment of the market like that, all they do is they sit in chat rooms and they look for stocks with low volume that they can basically go in and hopefully have someone buy higher than you. And when we're in this froth, it's easily done. But when the froth comes off, you don't have that ability. I'll give you one guy. It's very, very funny. So there's a short seller, Andrew Leff, okay, who's, whatever. He's up on federal charges. Somehow he gets a lot of TV run, but he was a big short seller. And what he would have is he would have zillions of people following his short calls, right? And they would make a lot of money because it would be a self-fulfilling prophecy. He'd get 50 hedge funds in, he'd get 30, these guys in, he'd get retail in, and they would move the market. And then all of a sudden, Eric, it didn't work anymore. Retail outsmarted him, and they're like, anything this guy says, we're going the other way, and we're going to run the guy out of town. So they did that. And guess what the guy turned into? He turned into a long only guy.
Yeah.
He only all his shorts don't work, so all he does is recommend longs now. And somehow, a friend of mine was telling me it works. I don't know how, but
Of course it works. Of course it works. The market always seemingly goes up throughout history, right? So a lot of traders at the end of their careers revert back to long only, I feel like. I can't prove it, but I just know it's true.
yeah.
So what are we
So
looking at today? We have a 28. What's the straddle today? It's 28, right? Maybe a touch above 28. So that's elevated from earlier in the week. On the cash, we got 20, 30 points up from here. A 66.40 call is trading at 220. You
right.
can get about $1.10 on a 10-point spread, 30 points out. Is that a trade you would take, or would you wait?
I would wait. I would
Yeah,
wait here and see what happens.
yeah.
So we'll see. But anyway, market down 35, bonds looking weak, yields up to almost 420 on the 10-year, concerning. Fed is off the table, I believe, in October. If there's a way that we could play this, I would. So hopefully we could find it, you know,
Well, what's TLT doing?
down probably a lot.
I mean, would you just short TLT?
No, I kind of like it to the long side. I think 10-year could back up here, but they're kind of capped because Fed funds are at 3.25.
So my play on this December rate cut that may not happen is actually shorting. I'm still short Toll Brothers, and I might add to my Russell 2000 short because those markets have gone up tremendously on these rate cut hopes. And what was interesting to me is that after the Fed, even though the AI trade was going up and the market was acting like we're about to embark on the biggest rate cutting cycle in history, home builders weren't doing well, and that's the sector that should benefit most from these rate cuts. The AI trade doesn't care about rate cuts, so that's not the rate cuts are not really for the AI trade. Yeah, you could say valuation and whatever, but that's not a real factor. But for real estate, it is, and home builders haven't been doing well since the Fed cut rates. So maybe that was a canary in the coal mine. But I'm thinking to press a little bit on my Russell 2000 short because that thing has a lot of rate cut expectations built into it.
All right. Well, that sounds good. I'm just chopping around. Not short as I want to be, but it's kind of
That's always the case when people. I find when good traders are making money, they always feel like they don't have enough size on, and when they're losing money, they're like, "I've oversized my position." That's a good thing. That's a good feeling. That's not a bad feeling.
Okay, dude. Whatever. I'll leave with the confusion of that. I want to make a ton of money. I want to be on top. I want to be aggressive when I'm on top. When I'm not trading well, like which has been the case, it's hard. And then, when the market, goes down, in 3 days, 1.25%, it doesn't make it really that easy to make money. So, you know, we'll see what happens here today. I got to run. I wish everyone good luck. Keep an eye on the bond market. We're going to look for a way to take advantage of the fact that we don't believe the Fed is going to cut in in uh, in October. So that's it. Good luck, everyone.